Imagine this. Every single day, without realizing it, you're losing brain power. Not because of age, not because of genetics, but because of the small habits you repeat every morning, every night, every hour in between. Routine, comfort, distraction, they sound harmless, even safe. But in reality, they are quietly draining your sharpness, your memory, your creativity. It's like watching a powerful machine slowly rust. Not from damage, but from lack of use. Think about how often you scroll mindlessly on your phone. How often you do the same tasks the same way, day after day. Your brain is designed to grow when challenged, to expand when tested. But when you live in constant comfort and predictable patterns, you're putting it to sleep. Science has shown that the brain functions like a muscle. If you don't push it, if you don't train it, it weakens. And yet most people spend their lives protecting themselves from discomfort, building walls of routine, and drowning in distractions that steal their focus and attention span. What's worse is that the decline doesn't happen suddenly. It's quiet, invisible. You don't even notice when you start forgetting names, losing focus, or struggling with decisions. It sneaks up on you until one day you look back and realize you're not as sharp, not as fast, not as alive as you once were. That's the hidden danger. Brain decay doesn't announce itself. It hides behind your comfort zone. But here's the truth. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to let your most powerful tool, your mind, fade away while you're still living. You have the choice to fight back, to train, to break free from distraction, and to rebuild a brain that is sharper, younger, and more unstoppable than ever before. And in this video, you're going to discover exactly how to do that. So stay with me, because what you'll learn today won't just change how you think. It will change how long your brain stays alive, active, and unshakable. And before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the like button, because together we're building not just stronger bodies, but stronger minds. Everywhere you look, people are carrying the very device that is quietly weakening their minds. Phones. They're supposed to connect us, but what they've really done is hijack our attention. Every notification, every scroll, every like is designed to keep your brain addicted to quick hits of dopamine. And while you think you're just checking in, your brain is rewiring itself to crave constant stimulation, making it harder to focus on anything meaningful for more than a few seconds. But phones are only part of the problem. Routines, the safe, repetitive cycles of life, are another silent killer of mental sharpness. Wake up, check emails, drive the same route, do the same tasks at work, watch the same shows, go to bed. Day after day. Your brain loves efficiency, but efficiency without challenge leads to decay. If you're not forcing your brain into new situations, new struggles, new puzzles, you're telling it to shut down, to run on autopilot, to stop growing. And then there's the biggest culprit of all, our obsession with comfort. We avoid anything that feels uncomfortable, whether it's silence, a tough conversation, or a challenging task. But discomfort is the very fuel that keeps the brain alive. It's in those moments of struggle, of tension, of not knowing what to do next, that the brain fires up, builds new connections, and grows stronger. By running from discomfort, we're running straight into weakness. Here's the painful truth. Modern habits are not harmless. They are weapons aimed at your focus, your memory, your creativity. And they're winning. You felt it. That inability to finish a book without reaching for your phone. That moment you forget what you were about to say. That blank mind when you need a new idea. It's not age, it's not bad luck. It's your lifestyle. But here's the good news. Once you recognize the enemy, you can fight back. Once you see how phones, routines, and comfort are stealing your mind, you can reclaim it. And in the next part of this video, we'll dive into exactly how to rebuild your brain, strengthen your focus, and reawaken the creativity that modern life has been trying to erase. Before we move on, hit that subscribe button and tap like, not for me, but as your first act of defiance against distraction. Because every small choice you make from this moment forward is either training your brain to weaken or commanding it to grow. What if I told you that your brain has the power to stay sharp, focused, and creative for decades to come, but only if you're willing to do what most people won't? The truth is, keeping your brain young isn't about supplements or quick fixes. It's about habits. Habits that are raw, uncomfortable, and powerful enough to shock your brain awake and force it to grow stronger. You see, the same way your muscles respond to resistance in the gym, your brain responds to challenges in daily life. But here's the difference. While most people avoid mental discomfort, the strongest, sharpest minds seek it out. They lean into the struggle because they know that's where the real growth happens. And that's exactly what I'm about to share with you. In this video, you're going to discover 16 habits that have the power to rebuild your brain. Not just make it feel better for a moment, but truly rewire it for focus, memory, energy, and creativity. These are not easy hacks. They're not shortcuts. They are practices that will push you, stretch you, and sometimes even frustrate you. But if you stay consistent, they will make your brain unshakable. Imagine being able to remember names without hesitation. Imagine sitting down to work and locking in with laser focus while the world around you scrambles for distraction. Imagine creativity flowing like a river, ideas sparking when you need them most. That's what these habits can unlock. And I'll be honest, most people won't do this, because it's easier to keep scrolling, to stay in routine, to run from discomfort. But if you're here, watching this, it means you're not like most people. You're searching for something greater, a way to protect your mind and make it stronger than ever before. So here's my promise to you. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to break down 16 habits, each one backed by the principle of discomfort, each one tested by people who refuse to let their minds decay. These are the tools you need to rebuild your brain's power, protect it from modern destruction, and unlock the clarity and energy you've been missing. Stay with me until the very end, because the final habit might be the most uncomfortable of all. But it's also the one that could transform your brain in ways you never imagined. And before we dive into the first habit, hit subscribe and tap like right now, because this is not just another video. This is a movement. Together, we're fighting back against distraction, against decay, and building the strongest minds of our generation. Have you ever tried brushing your teeth, writing your name, or even opening a door with your non-dominant hand? It feels awkward, clumsy, almost frustrating. And that's exactly the point. That discomfort you feel isn't weakness. It's your brain waking up. It's your brain being forced out of autopilot and into growth. Here's the science behind it. Every time you use your dominant hand, you're firing the same familiar pathways in your brain. It's easy, it's efficient, but it's not growth. Growth happens when you challenge your brain with something unfamiliar. Using your non-dominant hand forces your brain to create brand new neural connections. It's like paving fresh roads in a city that's been relying on the same highways for years. And the more roads you build, the stronger, faster, and more flexible your brain becomes. Think of children. Why do they learn so fast? It's because their brains are constantly being challenged with new tasks, new skills, new movements. But as adults, we settle into comfort. We stop learning. We stop experimenting. That's why something as simple as switching hands can reignite the same spark of growth you had as a child. At first, you'll drop things. You'll feel slow. You might even laugh at yourself. But hidden inside that frustration is progress. With every attempt, your brain is adapting, rewiring, and strengthening itself. Over time, tasks that once felt impossible with your weak hand will start to feel natural. And when that happens, you've proof that your brain is capable of change at any age. This isn't just a trick. Studies show that ambidextrous training can improve memory, increase focus, and even protect the brain from age-related decline. By doing something as small as writing your grocery list with your left hand or stirring your coffee with your weaker hand, you're giving your brain the workout it desperately needs. So here's your challenge. Starting today, choose one task and commit to doing it with your non-dominant hand. Brushing your teeth, holding your fork, unlocking your phone. It will feel strange. It will feel uncomfortable. And that's how you'll know it's working. Because in the fight to keep your brain young, Comfort is the enemy and challenge is the weapon. And this small habit, this daily test, is your first step toward building a sharper, stronger, and more resilient mind. If you're ready to keep pushing your brain further, make sure to subscribe right now and hit that like button, because the next habit we're about to explore will take this idea of discomfort to an entirely new level, and it might just change the way you live every single day. What if I told you that the single greatest threat to your brain isn't age? It's comfort. Every time you choose the easy way, every time you avoid the hard path, your brain gets weaker. But the moment you step into struggle, the moment you willingly take on something difficult, your brain comes alive. It fires, it grows, it builds new strength. That's why one of the most powerful habits you can adopt is simple. Do one hard thing every single day. Now let's be clear. Hard doesn't mean impossible. Hard means uncomfortable. It's that workout you don't want to start. The difficult book that challenges your beliefs. The cold shower that shocks your system. Or the honest conversation you've been avoiding. These moments of struggle act like weights for your mind. Just as your muscles need resistance to grow, your brain needs challenge to stay young. Without it, it decays. Think about the people you admire most, the innovators, the leaders, the creators. They all share one thing in common. They run toward difficulty, not away from it. Struggle sharpens their focus, fuels their creativity, and builds a resilience most people never touch. On the other hand, people who live in constant comfort slowly lose their edge. They become less curious, less driven, less alive. Here's the beauty of this habit. It doesn't take huge sacrifices. Doing one hard thing daily compounds over time. One uncomfortable choice leads to another, and soon you've built a mind that thrives under pressure instead of breaking down. Imagine the difference between someone who avoids every challenge versus someone who has trained their brain to see struggle as fuel. After a year, after 5 years, after 10, the gap between those two lives is massive. And yes, it will be tough. Your mind will resist. It will whisper, "Why bother? Take the easy road. Do it tomorrow." That voice is the voice of decay. You silence it not with words, but with action, by doing the hard thing anyway. So here's your challenge. Starting today, choose one hard thing and do it. Run that mile. Make that phone call. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push through the moment your comfort zone tries to trap you. Because every time you win that battle, you're not just building discipline. You're keeping your brain young, strong, and alive. If you're ready to keep breaking out of comfort and training your mind for unstoppable growth, subscribe right now and hit that like button. Because in the next habit, we're going to tackle one of the biggest enemies of your focus and memory. And it's probably sitting in your hand right now. Pick up your phone. Scroll for just 5 minutes. Suddenly an hour has passed, and you don't even remember half of what you saw. Sound familiar? That's not just a waste of time. It's brain damage in disguise. Every time you scroll endlessly, every time you drown in notifications and short clips, your brain is being trained to crave instant gratification, to lose patience, and to forget how to focus deeply. Here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Our phones are stealing our minds. Studies show that constant screen time shrinks attention spans, weakens memory, and reduces creativity. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence without reaching for your device? When was the last time you worked on a task for an hour straight without checking a notification? For many, the answer is painful. It's been years. Your brain was designed for focus, for deep thought, for creating solutions and ideas. But when you bombard it with endless scrolling, you're flooding it with noise. You're never giving it time to breathe, to rest, to repair. That's why you feel mentally foggy, distracted, and tired even after doing nothing. Silence, real silence, is where healing begins. When you disconnect, even for a short while, your brain recalibrates. It repairs attention, strengthens memory, and sparks creativity in ways no app ever could. Imagine giving your mind back its power. Imagine being able to read for an hour without distraction, to have conversations without checking your phone, to feel your thoughts stretch and breathe again. That clarity, that energy, that sharpness is waiting for you. But only if you're willing to set boundaries with your screens. Here's the challenge. Carve out at least one block of time every day, even 30 minutes, where you put the phone away, turn off the screens, and embrace silence. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll reach for your device out of habit. But over time, you'll notice something powerful. Your mind feels lighter, sharper, more alive. Because the truth is, silence heals. And in that silence, your brain finds the strength it's been losing to distraction. So if you're ready to take your focus and memory back, hit that subscribe button and like this video right now. And stick around, because in the next habit, we're going to explore a simple but life-changing way to recharge your brain every night while you sleep. Close your eyes and think about this. You spend nearly 1/3 of your life asleep, but most people never truly rest. They toss, they turn, they wake up groggy, reaching for coffee just to survive the day. Why? Because their sleep is shallow, distracted, interrupted by light, by noise, by the very environment that should be protecting their mind. And here's the harsh truth. Without deep restorative sleep, your brain cannot stay sharp, focused, or young. Science is clear on this. During sleep, your brain is not off, it's repairing. It's clearing out toxins that build up while you're awake. It's storing memories, strengthening learning, and recharging your ability to focus. But this only happens in deep sleep. And deep sleep demands darkness and silence. Even small amounts of light, like the glow from your phone or the flicker of a TV, can confuse your brain into thinking it's not nighttime. Noise, even faint, keeps your nervous system alert, preventing your brain from sinking into the cycles of rest it desperately needs. Think about it. Our ancestors slept under the stars, in pure darkness, with silence all around them. Their brains evolved in that environment. Now compare it to how most people sleep today. Phone buzzing on the nightstand, streetlights seeping through the curtains, TV murmuring in the background. It's no wonder we wake up drained instead of restored. But here's the good news. You can reclaim your sleep. Start simple. Eliminate all light from your room. Black out curtains, cover electronic glows, and put your phone away from your bed. Then cut the noise. No TV, no background chatter. If silence feels strange, use white noise or a fan, but protect the stillness your brain craves. Within days, you'll notice the difference. You'll wake up clearer, calmer, more focused. Over weeks, your memory improves, your creativity flows, your energy rises. That's the power of true sleep. This is not luxury. This is survival. Because every night you cheat your brain of deep rest, you're accelerating its decay. But every night you honor the darkness and silence. You're rebuilding it, keeping it young and strong for years to come. So tonight, make the choice. Protect your brain, sleep in darkness, sleep in silence, and wake up with the energy and clarity your future self will thank you for. If you're ready to keep building powerful habits for an unstoppable brain, subscribe now and tap that like button. And don't go anywhere, because the next habit is about something ancient and transformative. Walking alone in nature, and how it can reset your entire mind. Have you ever noticed how loud the world has become? Notifications, conversations, traffic, endless scrolling. It's as if silence no longer exists. But here's a secret. Some of the most powerful healing doesn't come from a pill, a podcast, or another productivity hack. It comes from something incredibly simple. Walking alone in nature. Imagine this. You step outside, away from the concrete and noise, into a place where the air smells like trees and earth. At first, your mind is still buzzing with problems, with things left undone. But as you keep walking, something starts to shift. The sound of birds replaces the ringing in your head. The wind brushing past your face reminds you of how alive you actually are. Every step begins to untangle the knots inside you. Science has proven what our ancestors always knew. Just 20 minutes in nature can lower cortisol, the stress hormone. Your blood pressure drops. Your nervous system resets. It's like pressing a natural restart button for your body and mind. And unlike scrolling through your phone or binging another show, this reset doesn't leave you feeling empty. It fills you with peace, with clarity, with presence. And there's something powerful about being alone during this walk. Without the distraction of conversation, without the need to perform for anyone else, you can finally hear yourself again. You notice your senses awakening, the crunch of leaves underfoot, the texture of bark beneath your fingers, the way sunlight flickers through branches. For once, your mind isn't racing toward the future or trapped in the past. You're just here now, alive. So if you ever feel overwhelmed, drained, or stuck, don't underestimate this habit. Step outside, leave your phone behind, walk slowly, breathe deeply, and let nature do what it's been doing for humans for thousands of years. Healing, calming, restoring. And if this message resonates with you, if you believe in building habits that actually transform your mind and soul, then make sure you subscribe and join me here. Because together, we're not just chasing success, we're chasing peace, clarity, and a life worth living. What if I told you that most people don't actually grow because they only read what makes them feel comfortable? Think about it. We pick up books, articles, or posts that already confirm what we believe. It feels good, it feels safe, but it doesn't stretch us. True growth, the kind that transforms your mind, happens when you read something that shakes your certainty. Imagine sitting with a book that challenges your deepest assumptions. At first it feels uncomfortable, even irritating. You catch yourself arguing with the words on the page, your mind racing to defend what you already know. But if you push past that resistance, something amazing happens. You start seeing from another perspective. Your brain begins to build new connections, and whether you end up agreeing or not, you walk away wiser, stronger, more flexible. History shows us this truth again and again. The greatest thinkers didn't grow by surrounding themselves with echoes of their own voices. They sought out opposing ideas, controversial works, even books banned in their time. Why? Because they knew the human mind sharpens like steel, only through friction, only through resistance. When you read to challenge your beliefs, you invite growth. You teach yourself humility, the understanding that you don't know it all. You train your brain to hold tension, to wrestle with paradox, to become resilient in a world full of complexity. And most importantly, you become free. Free from the prison of one-sided thinking, free from being controlled by the narrowness of your own perspective. So here's the challenge. Don't just read what makes you feel right. Read what makes you feel wrong. Pick up the book that intimidates you, the essay that angers you, the idea that feels impossible. Because on the other side of that discomfort lies expansion. If you're ready to keep growing, if you want more than comfort and are hungry for transformation, then subscribe and stay with me. Because together, we're not just feeding our minds, we're forging them into something unbreakable. Have you ever noticed how much we crave being good at things? We love the comfort of competence, the praise that comes with skill. But here's the truth. The moments when you struggle, when you feel clumsy, when you fail again and again, that's when your brain is truly growing. Habit 8 is simple but powerful. Do something you're bad at. Think about the first time you tried riding a bike. You didn't glide smoothly on the first attempt. You wobbled, you fell. Maybe you even scraped your knees. But every fall was a lesson. Your brain was rewiring itself, creating new connections, adapting to the challenge. That struggle, not the success, is what built your ability. Science backs this up. Neuroscientists have discovered that failure and persistence light up the brain far more than effortless success. When you wrestle with a new skill, playing an instrument, learning a language, even trying to draw when you have no talent, you force your brain to stretch. And like a muscle under tension, it grows stronger. Yet most of us avoid this. We stick to what we know, what we're already good at, because failure feels uncomfortable. But comfort is a cage. The truth is, the more often you place yourself in situations where you're bad at something, the more you expand your mind, your creativity, and your resilience. Imagine taking a dance class and stumbling through every step, or cooking a recipe and burning it the first 3 times. At first, embarrassment stings, but then you realize you're growing in ways you never would if you stayed perfect in your safe little corner. Each mistake is your brain's way of saying, I'm alive, I'm learning, I'm evolving. So if you want to unlock deeper growth, stop chasing easy wins. Start chasing the lessons hidden inside failure. Pick something you know you'll be terrible at, and let yourself stumble forward. Because greatness isn't built by being flawless. It's built by being fearless enough to fail. And if this resonates with you, if you want to keep building habits that rewire your mind for strength and resilience, then hit that subscribe button and stay connected. Together, we're not just learning how to succeed, we're learning how to grow beyond limits. Most conversations today are shallow. How are you? I'm fine. Scroll, nod, smile, move on. But deep down, we're starving for something more, something real. That's why Habit 9 is so powerful. Have deep conversations. Think about the last time you had one of those talks that stretched late into the night. Maybe it was with a close friend or even a stranger you unexpectedly connected with. Hours passed like minutes. You opened up, shared things you don't normally say, and listened in a way that made you feel alive. That's not just small talk, that's soul talk, and your brain loves it. Studies show that deep, vulnerable dialogue actually stimulates areas of the brain tied to memory, creativity, and problem solving. When you talk about your fears, your dreams, your mistakes, you activate emotional circuits that make the conversation unforgettable. And when you truly listen, without judgment, without distraction, you create bonds stronger than years of polite chit-chat ever could. The truth is, vulnerability is scary. It feels easier to stay on the surface, to talk about the weather, sports, or headlines. But surface talk doesn't grow you. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't give you the warmth of real human connection. Growth comes from asking the questions that matter. What are you afraid of right now? What do you dream about when no one is watching? What's the hardest lesson you've ever learned? And here's the beauty. Deep conversations don't just connect you to others. They connect you to yourself. When you speak your truth out loud, when you explore your emotions with honesty, you start to understand your own mind in ways silence never could. So make the effort. The next time you're with someone you care about, go deeper. Put the phone away. Ask real questions. Share something raw. Because in a world obsessed with noise, deep conversations are rare treasures that feed the soul. And if you're ready to keep building habits that nourish not just your mind, but your relationships and your heart, then subscribe and stay with me. Together, we're not just talking, we're connecting, growing, and building a life of meaning. Have you ever realized how much of your life runs on autopilot? You wake up, brush your teeth, check your phone, go to work, eat the same meals, talk to the same people, then collapse into bed, only to do it all over again. Safe, predictable, efficient. But here's the catch. Living on autopilot slowly kills your awareness. That's why Habit 10 is so important. Break your daily routine. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to quit your job or move across the world. Sometimes it's as small as taking a different route to work, trying food you've never tasted, sitting in silence instead of reaching for your phone, or starting a conversation with someone new. These tiny disruptions wake up your brain. They force you to notice life again. Neuroscience shows us that novelty sparks growth. When you break routine, your brain creates new neural pathways. Suddenly, ordinary moments feel alive again. That's why time seems to fly when you're stuck in routine, but slows down when you travel or experience something new. Novelty stretches your perception, deepens your memory, and makes life richer. Think of it this way. If your life feels dull, repetitive, or blurred together, it's not because nothing's happening. It's because you're not fully awake. Routine has lulled you into sleepwalking. Breaking it, even in small ways, is like splashing cold water on your mind. You become more present, more creative, more engaged with the world around you. So here's your challenge. Today, do one thing differently. Walk instead of drive. Write with your non-dominant hand. Rearrange your room. Ask someone a question you've never asked before. It may feel insignificant, But these small acts of disruption accumulate. They remind you that you are not a machine. You're a living, breathing human designed to grow. And if you want more habits like this, practical but powerful steps to reawaken your mind and reshape your life, then subscribe and stay with me. Because together, we're not just breaking routines, we're breaking limits and stepping into a life that feels alive. Let me ask you something. Once you've built the foundation of growth, are you willing to push further? Because the next set of habits are not for everyone. They're advanced, uncomfortable, and at times demanding. But if you commit to them, they will sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline, and elevate you beyond average. These are habits 11 through 16. First, teach what you learn. Knowledge only sticks when you share it. Think back to school. You might forget a lecture, but if you had to explain it to someone else, suddenly it became clear. When you teach, you don't just repeat information. You process, simplify, and internalize it. Every time you explain a concept to a friend, write about it, or even talk to yourself out loud, you carve that knowledge deeper into your memory. Second, play strategy games instead of mindless ones. There's nothing wrong with entertainment, but endless swiping and tapping dulls the brain. Strategy games, chess, Go, even certain modern video games, force you to anticipate, plan, and adapt. They mimic the decision-making you'll face in real life, sharpening your focus and problem-solving skills while still being fun. Third, practice intermittent fasting. This isn't just about weight, it's about clarity. When you stop grazing all day, your body learns discipline, and your mind clears. Ancient philosophers, warriors, and spiritual leaders all practiced forms of fasting, not to look good, but to gain control over their impulses. Skipping a meal occasionally reminds you that you are in charge of your body, not the other way around. Fourth, use brainwriting instead of brainstorming. Most group idea sessions are dominated by the loudest voices. Brainwriting flips that. Instead of talking, everyone writes down ideas silently, then shares them. It's quieter, more equal, and research shows it produces more creative, high-quality ideas. Silence has power. It gives space for depth. Fifth, take cold showers for alertness. It sounds brutal, but few things snap you into awareness like icy water hitting your skin. It shocks the nervous system, boosts circulation, and floods you with energy. More than that, it's a daily practice of discomfort, proof that you can face resistance and choose discipline over comfort. And finally, memorize poems, songs, or quotes weekly. Memory is a muscle, and in the age of Google, most people let it atrophy. But when you commit words to memory, they become part of you. They travel with you. They shape your thinking. Imagine reciting a line of poetry in a moment of struggle, or recalling timeless wisdom when you need it most. These fragments of art and knowledge become tools you can carry for life. So here's the truth. Advanced habits demand more from you, but they also give more back. Teach what you learn. Play with strategy, not mindlessness. Train your body with fasting and cold showers. Unlock creativity with brainwriting. Strengthen your memory with poetry. Step into challenge after challenge, and you will find yourself sharper, stronger, more alive than ever before. And if you're serious about building not just a routine, but a lifestyle of growth, then make sure you subscribe, like, and share this with someone who's ready to step up. Because together we're not just practicing habits, we're rewriting what the human mind is capable of. The truth is, these habits are not about comfort. They're not trendy hacks or quick fixes. They are weapons, tools for survival in a world designed to distract you, weaken you, and steal your focus. Every day your brain is under attack, by noise, by screens, by comfort, by complacency. And if you don't fight back, you lose. Not just your sharpness, but your youth, your creativity, your very sense of who you are. That's why these habits matter. Using your non-dominant hand, doing hard things daily, walking alone in nature, having deep conversations, breaking routines, memorizing poetry, none of them are easy. But that's the point. Growth never comes from ease. It comes from resistance, from struggle, from choosing strength when weakness is the easier option. Every time you step into discomfort, you protect your mind from decay. Every time you challenge your beliefs, you keep your brain young. Every time you fight the pull of comfort, you build resilience that most people will never know. These are not hobbies. They are shields. They are swords. They are the difference between living fully awake or sleepwalking into a wasted life. So here's the call. Fight for your brain every single day. Refuse to let comfort steal your future. Refuse to let distraction rot your focus. Refuse to let your mind grow old before its time. Protect your mental youth like your life depends on it, because it does. And if you're ready to be part of something bigger, then join this movement. Subscribe, share this message, and stand with me in building the strongest minds of our generation. Because together, we're not just surviving, we're forging unbreakable minds that will shape the future.